Home Show.
Max from Kilauea, Hawaii has a question about island roofing.
We go everywhere, don't we?
I like it.
Well, I'm thinking, I look at this picture, we may have to go down and have Max bring us down to look at this.
I've got a sister-in-law that lives down there. We've got to find a place to stay. Yeah.
Don't need a passport. It's in the United States. We can go there.
You don't need a passport.
There you go. All right. All right. So Max writes to us. He says, I'm finishing a cathedral ceiling, and I'm running a perforated radiant barrier on these beams. Take a look at the picture here at the of his roof. He says, and I'm going to finish with ply and battens, but before that, I need to vent the roof so the heat can escape. It's been re-roofed with what looks like a third layer of shingles, Tom. They've just laid layer after layer after layer on there. He says, and I'm attempting a ridge vent, but the building is actually two structures with two ridge beams, and I'd have to use a wider ridge vent. He says, but there are two box vents close to the ridge in the way by about an inch. So he wants to know, Tom, could I trim the ridge vents to fit right up against the box vents and then seal with caulking or roofing cement?
No ridge vent. You're not going to use a ridge vent? No, and I had a house, it was an island house. It was on Galveston Island. This gentleman might not know where Galveston is, or he might be familiar with it and seen it on a map. But
it's not one of the Hawaiian islands. It's not on the Hawaiian map. Yeah.
No, I understand that.
I'm just telling Max.
A lot of people don't realize that Texas has islands right off the coast. Right. They really do have no clue. But the bottom line was it was a double-wide mobile home, and I had two ridge vents. And when I had Ideal Roofing come out and put the roof on, and I've got a couple other things to say about this, but we cut it back and we said, whoops, we cannot have a ridge vent. You're not going to get one that's wider. You do not want to cut an opening so big that you have to have a 4-foot ridge vent on there. Don't do it. You're going to have to find another way through passive vents like your box vents. I think they're air hawks is what he's talking about, is probably going to be an option for you with ridge vents. With soffit vents and the box vents. I love the radiant barrier. That's going to help a lot. If you do enclose it, put some insulation. Don't put it up against the radiant barrier. Leave a little bit of an airspace, and you'll be good. And I just have a feeling you're going to have to forego the ridge vent, because if you start to modify it and you get a storm, and last time I looked in the islands, just like Galveston, you get some pretty vicious storms sometimes, it's going to leak like crazy, and you're not going to be a happy camper. So don't open up that can of worms for yourself as far as that goes. But, enjoy what you're doing. I think it's awesome.
Is this
it's an island? I like islands.
Yeah, who doesn't like islands, man?
Some people don't.
Yeah, but no seagulls there, though.
That's a long flight.
Yeah, there are no seagulls in Hawaii. But it does. I learned that the hard way. I'll tell you the story another time. But I was working at a radio station. We were giving away a trip to Hawaii, and I did promos for it that had seagulls in it. And it wasn't until we gave the prize away that somebody told me, Charlie, there are no seagulls in Hawaii. Anyway, and it's a long time ago, and in a land far away. But in this case, the air hawks and the box vents like you're talking about, that's the way to go along the top. You just put a series of them there, and then you get the...
Here's his big challenge is because he's got that double ridge, he might want to think about staggering them, but on each side, as opposed to just the back side like you see a lot of them done. Okay. I'm not sure if he's worried about aesthetics, if it's in the jungle around the palm trees and stuff, nobody's really going to see it. And by the way, 3 layers is actually approved of roofing materials.
Really?
You can't go a 4th. But unfortunately, every time you put a layer on a layer, its life goes shorter and shorter and shorter, and you're not going to get a warranty coverage. But it is something that has been done over time. So it's not horrible, but when it comes time to strip those 3 layers off on the next roof, it's going to be one big mess. So be prepared.
All right. Man, we gave Max the max load of answers here.
Yeah. The max.
That's it. So if your name's Min, you're gonna get Anyway, you got. No matter what your name is, go ahead and send us your questions. We're here to help you to make your home a better place, save you from getting taken advantage of, and just help you get your projects done like a boss. Go ahead and visit HomeShowRadio.com. Fill out that Ask Tom form. We'd love to get your questions. We'll post a new one every day. here at HomeShowRadio.com over on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel.